In this video, I'm going to design custom Lego Fortnite sets since I didn't really like the official ones. But before we begin, let's rate the official Lego Fortnite sets. The Peely Bone set represents nothing at all from the game, except for this Fortnite skin that I'm pretty sure 80% of the fan base forgot about. It looks cool though, so I'll give it a 3 out of 10. I really hope Lego never makes these again and actually sticks to minifigure sets. Next, we got the Loot Llama. This set is a little better than Peely Bone, but it's still a boring set in my opinion. It's a greatly detailed item to set as decoration in your room though, so this is a 5 out of 10. Next, we have the Durr Burger set. This is also a great decoration, but it's still boring. The drift figure would have been perfect for the set to replicate the iconic Season 5 trailer from a couple years ago. This also gets a 5 out of 10. And last but definitely not least, we got the Battle Bus set. Now this is what you want a Lego Fortnite set to look like. Nothing else. A really good amount of minifigs, something that's fun to play with, and overall, a great price. My only critique about this set is the Cube Assassin and Trespasser Elite skins. They should have gotten swapped with figures that are more iconic, like Fish Stick or Omega. And maybe the Adventure Peely skin would have been swapped with the ordinary Peely skin. But this isn't stopping me from giving this set a 10 out of 10. This set is perfect. They really captured everything from the in-game battle bus. Enough of this grown man complaining about little pieces of plastic though. Let's get to designing some sets. So the sets I'll be designing today will be ranging from cheap to expensive. So let's start by designing the cheapest set of this video. This set is going to be pretty small, and Fortnite in general is pretty huge, from landmarks to vehicles. So I'll have to find something really small, but also action-packed to make this a fun set. So I choose the loot flags from chapter 4. Hi, this is editing me here. These aren't called loot flags, those are called capture points. I don't know where I got loot flags from, but yeah, enjoy the video. These loot flags were in multiple locations throughout the map, but I specifically chose the one in Shattered Slabs. Shattered Slabs' terrain is pretty deserty and lacking of grass, so tan for the set's base is perfect. The Shattered Slabs POI has a lot of these stone pillars, so I added some on here. These stone pillars are kinda damaged, so I built some cracks and damage marks using some snot techniques and cheese slopes. Then I added these little poles on each pillar. The reason behind this is I wanted to add a zipline by using this extra rope piece I got from the Battle Bus set. This makes a great zipline in my opinion. Next, I added the loot flag. I didn't have much flag pieces to work with, so I just used these Minecraft pillager banners. And for the figures, I used drift with this bolt action sniper rifle designed by Brick Tricks. And this custom Dark Voyager skin, I just wished I had a black visor instead of this neon yellow one. But the higher we go in budget, the better the set. Just wait till you see the last one. The next set is gonna be around 40 to 50 bucks, and I chose to make a set involving the Meowscles minifig, especially in the Caddy Corner POI. Caddy Corner's main building, the box factory, is really big, so I'll have to build a smaller structure around that factory, like this little container home. So this location also has a lot of dirt around the terrain, so I'll again be using tan for the base plate. I also added some additional green tiles around the base plate to represent some grass patches. Now let's build the container. For the container walls, I use these modified bricks I got from the Minecraft Mineshaft set. These bricks together form a decent texture you can find on containers and is perfect for this build. Over here I needed to add a window, but only had one window frame that I already used earlier, so I had to improvise and add this little garden instead. Next I added these door frames and started tiling the top of the walls to add the roof. Next, I added this stairway in front of the entrance to access the top of the house. Then I added some more grass in front. After that, I added these wood planks you find on the actual structure's roof. And lastly, I added these plates to replicate little steps to enter the house easily. Now it's time to populate this build by adding Meowscles, obviously, this custom Agent Jonesy skin with an extremely oversized tactical shotgun, and Bright Bomber. And since this is next to a box factory, let's fill the house with some boxes. And here we have the custom Caddy Corner set. This one's a little better than the first one, but it still has nothing on the next two I'm about to build. So without further ado, let's build one of them. For the next set, I want to replicate a build fight using Lego. So first, let's add a base where all of this action will take place. I want this to have 2 builds on each side of the platform with one of the players cranking 90s. But before building that, let's add a noob trying to shelter himself with these wood materials I built using a lot of 1x1 plates and tiles that form a wall. Now let's build the sweat tower by building these brick walls that are made from medium nougat masonry bricks. And I'll be placing these over here on these tiles. Let's now build a second floor by adding this platform and adding even more walls on top. The person who will be on top will be this custom soccer skin minifig, since most sweats use these. This terrain is looking a little bland, so let's add this rock and chest with stuff like weapons and nays inside. And now let's add the noob. The noob skin is a custom blue squire minifig. To make this fight a little fair, I decided to give him a rocket launcher. And to make this more interesting, I decided to throw Emmett in there. Don't ask me why, it just felt right. And here's the build fight set. I feel like the set would be around 60 bucks. And it is now time to build the biggest set of this video. Let's build a Tilted Towers themed set. So let's begin with this pretty large base here. This base can only fit one building, and I obviously chose the clock tower since this thing is way too iconic. It would have been a crime to not include it in here. Let's start by building the first floor by stacking some tan bricks on top of each other around an 8x8 area, leaving a 1x4 space for this door. I threw in some dark tan masonry bricks in the walls to give the clock tower some texture. Next, let's build the second floor. This one's a little different with some arch texture on the walls. I replicated that texture by using the snot technique to make part of the wall thinner than the rest, creating this arch design. For the third and fourth floor, I did the same snot technique, instead this time I formed a rectangular shape instead of an arch. I built the fifth floor off camera, and I'll reveal why later in this video. And for the final floor, I built these little pillars to put these arch pieces on top. I then added this roof in all black, and lastly, I added these bushes in front of the tower just like in game. This set would be kind of bland with just the clock tower, so let's add this brick wall, and next to that brick wall, let's add a reboot van. This reboot van is heavily inspired by Geek Brick. It's technically his design, I just tweaked it by making it smaller and changing the top trans blue symbol, so shout out to him. I added some tiles and jumpers in front of the van to add some removable brick walls to protect a player while reviving their teammate. I also added the option to build a ramp on the side of the clock tower with these Technic holes. And you could store all of these mats in the back of the clock tower. The front of this set looks a little bland, so let's add this tree. And here we have the custom Tilted Towers playset. I would guess that if Lego released this, it would have been probably 200 to 250 bucks, something in between. And finally, here's the reason why I built the fifth floor off camera. It was actually because I put a play feature on here. And that play feature makes the reboot van revive other players by hiding a player behind the clock tower and moving this rod to make them appear into the set. This was really fun to build, and I hope that you guys had equally as much fun watching this. If you guys enjoyed these sets, make sure to like this video and comment which set was your favorite. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time when I get turned into paper.